Accept your death.
Alright, so I present to you all my final Quan Chi matchup chart in Mortal Kombat 1. I don't believe any patches are coming at this point in time. I think this is just what we are being stuck with, and that's fine. But I did want to just give some context. I don't feel like every matchup is worth going over because, like, Quan Chi has a lot of flaws. We know that. So, you know, it is what it is. So, key point here, our worst matchup is Smoke. Smoke does everything that we don't want him to do. He has all these cancels that we can't really take advantage of because we're so slow. He can teleport around, so we can't really zone it. He has some pretty fast multi-hitting moves to break our armor. So, yeah, that's why I have Smoke as the worst matchup. And the reason I have it as worst matchup and not like 3-7 is because I'm actually not sure that it's that bad. Like, I think it's definitely on the higher scale of 4-6, like definitely like the worst 4-6. I'm not sure if it's bad enough to consider it a 3-7 matchup, and that's a big part of that is because I come from Mortal Kombat 9 where I saw what 3-7 matchups look like, and I don't think that's it. I don't think that's a 3-7 matchup. And if you're not familiar with matchup charts in NRS communities, we've done this for years. It's basically if you played each character at like their absolute best with all their tools, how many matches would you win out of 10? So yeah, for example, 4-6, Quan Chi would win 4 matches, the opponent would win 6. Played at the absolute highest level with everything included. And then on the opposite spectrum, 6-4, Quan would win 6 matches, the opponent would win 4. So that's kind of how this works. Couple thoughts I have in the 4-6 category. Shang Tsung. Obviously you might be like, Shang Tsung's not very good. Why would he be in 4-6? Because he can literally just transform into us and just make it a mirror match where he has a damage boost. So the superior sorcerer, unfortunately, but you know. Yeah, and so let's talk about Garrus for a moment, because like this is the reason that I actually changed, and this took a lot of speculation because I always thought that Garrus was like a fairly easy matchup for Quan. So one of the things is like, yeah, Garrus does not have the safety against Quan that he has against other characters, because we can punish the Motaro teleport with standing 4, and before it didn't really mean much because like we didn't really get that much damage, but because standing 4 now combos into this, as long as we have a bar, you're getting a hit for 300 damage every time you decide to do that teleport, as long as the Quan's on point, which is the point of a matchup chart. So that's kind of why I have Garrus now in that, and maybe Gur can give a little bit more, you know, because it was already a tough matchup before, you know, outside of the Motaro Reflect. Now it is what it is. But yeah, so those are kind of like the two, more, I guess the first 3 talking points of this matchup chart is like Smoke, Shang, Garrus, kind of. And then like, I'm definitely open to like intricacies in like the 4-6 and the 5-5 sections of it. Because yeah, there are just so many situations where Quan standing 4 just shuts down aspects of the game that other characters don't, and I've learned that by playing other characters. But you know, when you get up on Quan, he still has like the slow pokes, you know, his fastest button is a high, and he still suffers in that way, and that's unfortunately the way a lot of characters play. And if any character with a good mid, that sucks for Quan. So anyone who has like less keep away kind of idea, like for example, we can zone out Rain a little bit, but because his cancels were like improved big time and he has more combo routes, he used to be a 4-6, now I moved him into 5-5. Reptile, same idea. Honan was one I was on the fence about. I don't think it's a winning matchup, but he is like the only character that Push Away Portal actually works on, so that's kind of interesting. You know, Natara, I could maybe move down into like a 4-6. We might lose to Natara, but I don't know, it doesn't feel that bad to me. Sub-Zero, at one point in time I did say that it was a winning matchup for Quan because We kind of shut down the Ice Clone completely with standing 4. That being said, I don't think that that's big enough to actually warrant us. I kind of walk that back now, and I have them in the 5-5 territory. Other than that, I'm looking at the characters here. I don't really see... Omni-Man is one that I moved from 5-5 to 4-6 because he got that buff, and that's actually a pretty big deal for Quan, because now he can safely break through the armor portal and just not really have to worry about it as much. Still strategically, but Reiko does not feel... You can still zone Reiko out a little bit, but, you know, his damage is ridiculous. His damage is crazy. Ghostface, yeah, so Ghostface is one that, like, really, really solid mid. Ghostface Striker, if you've ever played that team, is just a mix you up for days. And the thing is, it's a little awkward to zone Ghostface. I will say that, like, zoning him is probably your best bet, but he does have some options that make it annoying. And then once he gets in, his game plan, his buttons, everything is just better than what Quan can do. And the chances of Ghostface getting in versus Quan Chi keeping you out are probably pretty good. So that's kind of why I have Ghostface where he is, or where they are, I guess. I'm not really sure how to go about that. But yeah, if you ever played a Ghostface Striker, like, you're literally guessing, like, overhead low throw, and if you guess correctly, they're plus because of Striker, and if you guess incorrectly, you're eating 50% because Striker is just doing insane damage on you. Yeah, so good question from Koala there. So Sector and Reptile. Reptile has always been annoying for Quan, but Reptile has always had problems, and that's why I've kind of kept him in the 5-5 area. I found playing Sector that you gain more meter as Quan than you do Sector after they nerfed her meter build. So although like she does have some good options, Quan also has some good options and builds meter faster. But that being said, Sector does have better rushdown tools and just better overall damage. So I kind of have it in 5-5. Maybe he loses that one. I would be open to putting Sector in there. Reptile feels pretty even. I personally suck at that matchup, but I've also never labbed it, and that's a me problem. So, but that's like my final Quan Chi matchup chart where I think everything kind of shakes out. If you have any comments or any disagreements or anything, just let me know. But yeah, I think this is a pretty fair list on where I think Quan shakes out at the end of things. So, just my thoughts. Thought I should probably share this at the now that we're pretty certain we're not getting another patch. So.
Accept your death.